Dell, VMware Spin Out. A couple highlights. So first and foremost, just to review, the two companies were not one for one. There was a tracking stock that VMware had, and there was a stock for Dell. Investors had challenges related to the governance of it and how it was run. And the theory is by splitting them up, you'll be unlocking the value. And if you looked at the combined value of Dell and VMware, it didn't even seem close to the opportunities. So this is what this is all about. Now, Dell brings a lot to VMware, and VMware brings a lot to Dell. So they did a 5-year strategic relationship on certain product classifications, but I would say more near-term impactful sales and marketing. I mean, most of the growth that VMware exhibited over the last few years came from its relationship with the Dell sales force. So there's value both ways, and a lot of the differentiation, particularly on the software side, that Dell brought to the table came from VMware. Now, that will actually continue. Both companies, I think, now have permission to work across lines, but I do feel like for the next 5 years, from an innovation side and a sales side, the two companies are symbiotically linked. When it comes to Dell in particular, right, I think Dell's done a really good job communicating its value proposition for the next the next stage of, and it's all about edge, it's carrier and telco, it's multi-cloud and hybrid cloud, it's data management, and other businesses related to security, AI, and ML, and then the continued pace to gain share in what they call their core business that they want to essentially modernize. That's PCs, compute, networking, storage. So server, storage, networking, and PC, and then putting on the as a service layer of Apex on there. And I think for investors to fully buy in, they're going to want to see evidence of Apex growth, I think, first and foremost, and how in these growth areas, Dell is achieving higher margins and big double-digit, maybe triple-digit growth.
Yeah, Pat, you hit on a lot of things really well. This spinoff needed to happen. We, of course, saw the stock get halved for it. The market cap got zeroed out. I mean, I'm being a little bit overzealous when I say that, but we did know this was going to happen. We knew the market was going to react this way. It wasn't a reaction based on science. Dell has an amazingly large business, very robust, with or without VMware. And in many ways, they always operated somewhat, discreetly throughout their entire existence. It was a growth business, and in terms of on the infrastructure side of Dell's business, it did grow more consistently. I mean, remember, VMware was growing, but it was really about a 10%. It was almost like you could almost count on about 10% every quarter, 10%. This wasn't accelerating like an Azure or like a, even a Salesforce, in the double 20s and 30s. I mean, it was 10. And, considering the trend towards cloud, if you did a comparative, just going back to IBM, Red Hat has actually been growing a little bit faster. Just the Red Hat part, not the whole IBM cloud, just the Red Hat part. And my point is so VMware was doing well, but it wasn't like blowing growth out of the water. Meanwhile, Dell has been working for years now on building this Apex solution out. Now, for most people, they've only really started to hear about it recently. It sort of changed a little bit. I think it was Dell Tech on Demand was its early iteration. And then there was, Dell Financing had been doing this, by the way, on a custom basis on a very large volume for a long time. Having said that, Pat, you are exactly right. Did I ever say that to you? You're exactly right. The market needs to see progress here. It needs to see progress, growth. It needs to see the service portfolio expand. You heard Michael and his team talk a lot at the recent analyst event about multi-cloud. Need more evidence about how, without VMware, Dell is going to be supporting the multi-cloud initiatives that are going to be going on in enterprises in the future. Dell has a worldwide, world-class sales organization. Whatever is put in front of it, it's going to have the ability to put it out at scale, whether that's, like you said, addressing telco 5G and edge, or that would be addressing core infrastructure for the enterprise or handling, security, whether that's zero trust all the way, out at the edge to core infrastructure security requirements, storage, networking, you name it. I want to see Apex grow. I want to see evidence of Apex growth, and that's going to be through products, through services, through customers, and through transparency, which is something that I think is going to be very important. I think right now, Dell is being put on sale a little bit. It's an interesting company to look at. I think ever doubting Michael Dell and what he's able to do is a very, very bad decision by the market. And by the way, Michael made a mint on this deal. So if you were an investor and a shareholder and you understand the financial engineering of what he accomplished by bringing this company in and bringing this company out, and he also, by the way, just upgraded the quality of the company's debt significantly through this move. This was brilliance all over it. However, it does leave a gap in the portfolio, and the company is going to need to show the market that it's going to be able to fill that gap through strategic partnerships or new acquisitions or new products that it's going to be able to take to market.
Final thing I'll say before we close out here is that VMware now has permission to work more closely with companies like HPE and Lenovo, folks like that than they did before.